Three, two, one. What's up, sports fans, and welcome to another episode of the 3 Gen Podcast. I'm your host, Noah, joined by my co hosts.
Grandpa.
And Uncle Johnny.
All right, let's get straight into the first segment of the day. We got some sports news. Not a lot of sports news that happened this past few weeks, but a bunch of interesting things. First, we have Drake May starting for the Patriots. This was a move I feel like it had to happen eventually. Jacoby Brissett's not the answer at quarterback there. Drake May, it should be interesting to see what he can do for the Patriots. Do you think he can make a major change for them, or not really?
Not really. They need more than a quarterback.
Yeah. He's a good player, though.
Yeah.
We'll see. Next, we have O'Connell, another new quarterback. Now he's going to be starting for the Las Vegas Raiders. I didn't like him his freshman year. I mean, not his freshman year, his rookie year. I don't think he's going to be any better his second year, but we'll see.
Right. Yeah, it's another one that has a great team to go to, so who knows? I mean,
yeah, that organization's a dumpster fire. So anything, whatever, they could put me or you at quarterback, and they'd have just as much of a chance of winning. So they're terrible.
Right.
Next, if the Colts weren't dealing with any injuries to begin with, Anthony Richardson's been dealing with injuries his whole career. Michael Pittman's now out several weeks. He's had a bad past 2 years. The Colts don't really utilize the receivers all that well ever since Marvin Harrison, original Marvin Harrison. They don't really utilize the receivers, and I feel like Michael Pittman could be used better on a different team. But I guess we'll have to see. But he's out the past few weeks. Then probably the biggest news out of all this past week: Robert Saleh got fired from the Jets. The defensive coordinator, Jeff Ubrich, is the new interim head coach, and Nathaniel Hackett got demoted. So how do you guys feel about all this unfolding? How do you feel? Do you think Robert Saleh got undeservedly fired?
I think he got a bad deal. I think he's a little premature, but he had a bad record too, and didn't get along with Aaron, Rodgers, and he actually runs the team. Let's face it,
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess he had to go.
I mean, he wasn't an extraordinary head coach, but when you have Zach Wilson as your starting quarterback for 2 years, and then you have Aaron Rodgers, and you have Nathaniel Hackett as your offensive coordinator, all the problems are happening on offense, not the defensive side,
right?
And you get fired for that, I would understand why you get mad, because apparently reports say he got escorted out of the Jets building from security. He was that mad.
Well, I also heard rumors, and I'm not sure it was true. I didn't check it out, that he had a Lebanese flag on his shirt or jacket that day. Yeah,
he did. Yeah, he did.
And made the owner real mad. So that was the last straw, I think.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
and honestly, Aaron Rodgers don't like you. You're not going anywhere.
Yeah, I agree.
Or you're going. Yeah. You're out. So, and he did it with what's his name in Green Bay too. They went to Dallas. McCarthy, Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, and honestly, he's not the same Aaron Rodgers as he was a few years ago.
No, not even close. I don't think. No.
Good luck, Jets.
The Jets are going nowhere. There.
Yeah, they just. Yeah.
And I saw this in the thing. No team who's ever won the Super Bowl won it with an interim head coach, so they're automatically not. They don't stand a chance, in my opinion.
Right.
I think they knew that going in, though. I don't ever. Right. Yeah, they're another dumpster fire, but they're one of their own creation, though.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I feel a little bit bad for Saleh because he settled with this old quarterback who was great at one point in time, but he's not the same Aaron Rodgers, He's supposed to be a big savior for him.
Well, but seeing too, the general manager, because he came in the same time as the Lions and hired Dan Campbell. In fact, they wanted to hire Saleh because he's from Dearborn, right around here, so it would have been a good fit. But that's just a really bad general manager, and then they put all their eggs in one basket in Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
It just hasn't worked out, and probably won't.
Rodgers has actually made that team around him way worse. Garrett Wilson looks worse. Breece Hall looks worse. Alan Lazard is the number one receiver on the team. You just can't have that.
Right.
Yeah, you can argue that he did that in Green Bay for a while too. I mean, he drove Davante Adams out of town for the most part, and I'm not a fan of his. Never was.
For the last few years, he's been a diva. So when you're playing real good, that'll go over. But when you're not, it's not so good.
Yeah.
Talking about Davante Adams, his trade right now is on hold because with Derek Carr's injury, and of course you have the Jets firing their head coach. That trade's been on hold right now, but it seems like the two main players are the Jets and the Saints. We'll see what happens to that. Next, the 49ers star safety Hufanga got put on IR. The 49ers are dealing with a load of injuries right now to their team. And talking about the Saints, Spencer Rattler is starting for the Saints this week with Derek Carr. A lot of new starting quarterbacks this week.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Danny Green retired from the NBA. Mitchell Robinson's out the first half of the season in the NBA. And then talking about college football, Quinn Ewers is back this week for the Texas Longhorns. And I just want to throw it out real quick. This past week, Uncle Johnny has been calling it for weeks now. The Super League format officially came out. It's just a proposal by a bunch of billionaires. They are throwing out $9 billion if a bunch of colleges do this. It'd be 17 teams. It's called Project Rudy. We'll see. I hope it doesn't, but we'll see.
It will. It's bound to happen. And then the funny thing is they're going to ditch the NCAA. That'll be the next big move. Is they'll rid themselves of them and they'll become their own little league.
That's going to be amazing, isn't it? Wow.
Yeah, but NCAA is a sham anyway. I mean, I think they might be better off for it. It's all it is it's a money generating machine. They don't could give a crap about student athletes anymore. These guys are professional athletes.
Oh yeah,
and the NCAA is their NFL, and they make money hand over fist.
Do you think there'd be two leagues then? One for like all the other smaller teams that didn't make it to the Super League?
Yep,
two leagues,
that's
really?
it.
Okay.
It's going to be those two big, whatever you want to call them, super conferences, whatever, and then all the Division II teams, basically. Even though some of those Division II teams could be Michigan State or Ohio or whatever. You know what I mean? So yeah, they'll be
like the MAC, like Conference USA. Those are
right. Even some of your Pac-10 or whatever they call it now, Pac-12 teams. Yeah. They're not gonna let everybody in there. I think it was 26 teams in each one. Was that what it was, or 20?
I saw what it was. It's pretty much every team that's part of the Power Four, including Oregon State and Washington State.
Yep. So whatever that is.
Not the current teams that are going to the Pac-12. So I don't know. I don't like it. I don't think anyone does, but we'll see.
No, I don't like it anyway. I don't like it the way it is now either. So I don't. Whatever. No, it's embarrassing now. How they do it is awful.
Next, let's quickly go through the picks of the week for college football. Last week, I did bad. I did 7 and 8 in my picks because we had a lot of crazy games last week. Alabama lost to Vanderbilt. Tennessee lost to Arkansas. We had Miami come back against Cal in an unbelievable game that I watched till like 2:30 a.m. It was crazy. Nebraska beat Rutgers. Georgia Tech beat Duke. Michigan lost. They lost to Washington. USC got upset by Minnesota. Louisville got upset by SMU. It was just a crazy week overall.
Yeah, you're right. But that's college football these days, you know?
I know, and I like it how it is. But if they go ahead with the Super League, we're not going to see games like that anymore. Which is sad, but we're just going to see powerhouse against powerhouse, which could provide good games, but it's not going to provide any upsets. So next, let's get through these games real quick. We have Washington 4-2 at Iowa 3-2. Washington coming off a win against Michigan, but they're playing a team that has a former Michigan QB. So
yeah, I take
Iowa at home.
Yeah, Iowa at home. Yeah, they're better than Michigan, I think. And
all right,
I'm going Washington.
Ooh, okay. Next we have Wisconsin 3-2 at Rutgers 4-1. Rutgers coming off it was 14-7. They lost to Nebraska, a closer game. And Wisconsin, they've looked good. They looked bad. They're having an iffy year. They lost Tyler Van Dyke, their quarterback. But
see you later. They're done.
I'm gonna take.
They never were really there, but Rutgers.
Me too. Rutgers for me.
Next we got Georgia Tech 4-2, coming off a really good win last week. Going on the road to take on a North Carolina team that lost to Pittsburgh in a close one. Undefeated Pittsburgh somehow, but I'm going to take Georgia Tech here.
I am too.
I'm going North Carolina. Up-down theory in full effect here.
Okay.
All right. Next we have Texas, who's 5-0. Quinn Ewers is back at quarterback. Here we have the, what's it called, against Oklahoma? The rivalry game?
Yeah.
Red River, whatever they call it.
Red River rivalry. Yeah.
I think Texas is too tough.
I think Texas is too good.
I don't think they'll lose until the playoffs. So
wow, really? Even against Georgia?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Next we have Penn State 5-0 at USC 3-2. This should be an interesting game. Penn State has looked really good. It's gonna be hard.
I like Penn State. I'm going Penn State.
It's gonna be hard not to take Penn State over USC here. I'm gonna take Penn State.
Yeah, they almost have to without the points. So, but I do think they're kind of a sham.
All right. Well, they usually are every year with Franklin as their head coach. So.
That's what I was just gonna say.
They're losing against the best
year.
teams. They're probably gonna lose against Ohio State this year and maybe someone else. I don't know their schedule. I think they play Ohio State, but we'll see. Next we have Louisville 3-2. They have had a bad past 2 weeks, losing to Notre Dame and SMU. Now they play Virginia, who's a 4-1 team at Virginia. I'm gonna take Louisville.
I'm taking Virginia.
Ooh.
I'll take Louisville because I take them every week.
Cal 3-2, coming off a tough loss against Miami in a game they should have won at a 5-0 Pittsburgh team. Give me Pittsburgh again. Stay undefeated.
Yep, I agree.
Yep, same here.
Next we have a Big 12 Cincinnati 3-2 at a Big 12 UCF 3-2. This is a very unique Big 12 game.
Are they even going to play that game?
I believe so. It's not been declined yet. So
wow, no kidding. That'll be the Flood Bowl.
Yeah,
they're like right in the heart of where all the problem is. I'll take UCF just for sentiment.
Yeah, I will too.
I'm gonna take Cincinnati for the upset. UCF has had a bad past 2 weeks.
Okay.
And their houses are all washed. Right, yeah. All their dorms are underwater. That could be a real concern. But yeah.
Next we have Arizona 3-2. They lost bad last week, and now they're taking on a really good Big 12 5-0 BYU team. I'm gonna take BYU at home.
Me too.
Always go with the Mormons.
Yeah.
They could be the best team in the Big 12. They could. We'll have to see.
That's not saying a lot, but you're right. They could be.
Next, we have a 3-2 Florida. Somehow they've turned around. They were 0-2, now they're 3-2. They're taking on a Tennessee team coming off a tough loss against Arkansas. Give me Tennessee at Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee bounces back.
Yep, always vote for Tennessee. Yep.
Yeah.
Next, we have Ole Miss 5-1. Only loss coming to Kentucky at LSU, who is also 4-1.
Ole Miss for me.
One loss.
Yeah. I'm anti-LSU, so I'll take Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I'm going to take LSU at home here. I just don't see LSU losing at home. But next,
they're the underdog. You know, LSU is the 3-point underdog in that game.
Yeah, they are. But I'm going to take them. Next, we have Vanderbilt 3-2, coming off a win against Alabama at Kentucky, who's also 3-2. I had some friends who were like, "No, we got to go to that game." I'm like, I don't know if I wanted to, but
I think Kentucky wins this.
I'm gonna take Kentucky at home.
I'll take Vandy.
Whoa, okay. Next we have Iowa State 5-0 at West Virginia 3-2. West Virginia does not look good. Give me Iowa State to win again 6-0.
I agree.
Sure, me too.
2 more games here. Kansas State 4-1 at Colorado, who's now 4-1. Only loss being to Nebraska.
I'm going to jump on the Colorado bus. I'm Colorado on this one.
I will never vote for Deion Sanders, so I don't care if they're playing the JV team from the school down the street.
I'm going to take Kansas State.
Me too.
Next we have Game of the Week, Big Ten powerhouse match, Ohio State at Oregon. Who is winning this game? It's at Eugene, Oregon.
I'm taking Oregon at home.
Wow, okay. I'm taking Ohio State. Ohio State just looked too dominant over their past few games. They've looked too good, and Oregon has not looked amazing. When they played Michigan State last week, their offense, their defense played good, sure, against a Nathan Child's offense. But Dylan Gabriel threw 2 picks in the red zone.
Okay.
Against a Michigan State defense.
I'm going Oregon, too.
Wow. I'm taking Ohio State. But...
Long trip. Real long trip for a college football team.
Right.
All right. Let's get to the last segment of the day. We have the NFL picks. So right now, overall, I'm 25-18. The guests, which are you guys, is 22-21. I went 8-4. How I do it, since Uncle John, you joined the podcast a week late, so what I'm doing is, say if you disagreed on a pick, I'll take Grandpa's pick for one, and then if you disagreed on another, I'll take Uncle Johnny's for another. And
okay, that sounds fair.
Sometimes it benefits you, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay.
I went 8-4 this week. You guys went 5-7. Sometimes I got a pick. Sometimes you guys got a pick.
5-7 with no points. That's terrible.
I know, that's terrible. It's almost hard to believe, isn't it?
I know.
Jets, you guys picked Jets, Ravens, Colts, Miami, Commanders, Bills, Bears, Niners, Packers, Seahawks, Steelers, Saints.
Yeah, okay. All right. Let's start again then. New week.
All right. Let's do it. So, this week's games, obviously the Thursday night game right now is the 49ers and the Seahawks. We're not going to count that because it's already at halftime, and the 49ers are winning by a bunch right now. But the first game, we got the Jaguars at the Bears. It's another London game. Jaguars, of course, they're playing in London. They got their first win last week against the Colts. So
I'm
who
taking
do
the
you guys
Bears.
got?
That's
The
a real
Bears.
battle of the
I
crapo
know,
teams.
right.
I'll take Jacksonville.
Oh,
Their owner owns the stadium, for crying out loud, or something like that. So why not?
technically a home game for the Bears though, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Can Caleb Williams play in London?
Can't
I
play
don't
in
know.
Chicago, so I don't know why I would play in London.
I'm honestly going to take Jacksonville. I'm going to take
Yeah, good
Jacksonville
move.
too.
All right.
Smart move.
Next, we have the Texans at the Patriots with Drake May quarterback.
Texans. Easy game.
I'm going Texans as well.
Yeah.
Are you going Texans?
Yep.
All right. Next game we got here is the Commanders at the Ravens. This should be a fun game. Lamar Jackson against Jaden Daniels, but it's at Baltimore. I think that reigning MVP is going to give Jaden Daniels a rookie moment, welcome him to the NFL. I'm going to take the Ravens at home over the Commanders.
Yeah, I am too. I like Washington, but playing at Baltimore, I got to take Baltimore.
I'm taking the Commanders because the Ravens' defense is basically non-existent. So
Ooh, okay.
I run all over them. Yep.
All right. Next we have the Browns that just look awful. Deshaun Watson might be the worst contract and the worst trade in NFL history.
Right.
Yeah. Couldn't have happened to a nicer idiot too. So that's great.
Could you guys name? Obviously, you've been paid attention to sports for a long time now compared to me. Can you guys think of a worse trade in the NFL that's happened other than Deshaun Watson?
The Herschel Walker trade was maybe the worst trade in history. Minnesota traded for Herschel Walker, and they literally gave Dallas 2 Super Bowl titles. They drafted Michael Irvin. They drafted Larry Newton. It was embarrassing, and they got nothing out of Herschel Walker for the most part. That was really bad. I mean, they drafted like 3. I think, and after all of a sudden done, they drafted like 3 or 4 Hall of Famers from the picks that they got for him. Yeah, that was bad. This is not great. This one's definitely. It's more the contract that makes it so bad, though. Honestly.
Oh yeah.
It's not necessarily the trade. It's the contract was just insane. Even then, at the time, people thought it was insane. He had 1 good year, like literally 1 good season, and then he was an idiot. I mean, he has a sexual harassment suit for every day of the week. So it's.
And then he ran for the Senate. Didn't do good there either.
For who?
He ran for the Senate. Didn't do.
Oh no, I'm talking about Deshaun Watson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, talking about Watson. Yeah, no, his contract was.
Oh, Deshaun Watson.
It is. It's terrible, and he's just a louse of a human being, and he's a bad locker room guy.
Yeah,
they should have known this going in. Honestly, Cleveland gets what they deserve in this.
All right, I'm gonna name you 3 trades. Tell me what's worse: the Russell Wilson to the Broncos, the Herschel Walker one, the Bryce Young and the Bears get Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, and a bunch of other great players, or the Deshaun Watson. Which trade was worse?
Herschel Walker to me,
really?
By a lot. Well, yeah, because again, Deshaun Watson, it's the money that they're paying for him that's so bad.
Right.
If they got him at a bargain price, and so what? So I mean, you spend a few $1 million on your quarterback and you just bench him. But they are paying him. They've hamstrung themselves salary cap wise for like the next 4 years.
Yeah.
So they can't get anybody if they wanted to. So he had to be good just for them to be mediocre. And he was terrible. And then he was hurt. And then he was in trouble.
They're 1-4.
Oh, now they are. Right. That's what I mean. They had to be good. If he was good, they were just mediocre because they couldn't put anybody around him. So they couldn't afford it. Yeah. Fiscally, that was a terrible trade. But in terms of like player for player, I still think Herschel Walker is way worse. Just because of what they could have gotten. I mean, it's just insanity.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I tend to agree with you, John. I think that's good analysis.
It's hard for Noah though because it was way before his time. So
yeah, right.
Because Herschel Walker was a really good player when they traded for him. And everyone was like, "Ooh, wow, they got a great deal." Well, Dallas turned around and just embarrassed them by it. It was a bad deal. But the Bryce Young thing, it's too early to tell. He could end up being a really good player, and no one knows how good Caleb Williams is.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
trust me.
I don't know.
I mean,
Tom Brady.
You could argue. I mean, you got to remember too. The Bears traded up in the draft to get Mitch Trubisky and passed on Patrick Mahomes. So that would qualify as a pretty crappy one too, even though it wasn't for a big name. They didn't trade away. They traded a bunch of picks away, and I don't even know if there's a player involved at all. But it's like you take that clown and you pass up Patrick Mahomes. That's not real good.
Let me know if you guys agree with this. I recently saw an interview Tom Brady did that saying he like it's sad nowadays. They just throw rookie quarterbacks into systems expecting them to do good immediately. When he was in the league, when he first came into it, they expect rookie quarterbacks to sit, learn under a guy, and then maybe come in like at the end of the season or at the next season, like kind of how he did it.
I tend to agree with Brady. I don't agree with Brady about much, but I agree with him on that. I think he's right. I think these guys have to sit for a while and learn. And
it's a different era, though. I mean, like it's a different world now. These guys come in with a lot of hype. They come in with a lot of, and they always go to bad teams. I mean, so these teams got nothing to lose anyway. You're not drafting first overall generally if you have a really good quarterback.
Right.
So, and these people people that pay from the seats want to see these guys play. And honestly, college football is basically the minor leagues now. These guys are playing in pro systems from day one. Like you don't hear about wishbone. Back in the day, everybody ran the wishbone or the option. No one does that now. Everyone has a pro style offense. So these guys come in like JJ McCarthy's a great example. That's been an NFL team at U of M, and they ran it the same way. They run the same plays. Their schemes are the same. So when he goes to Minnesota, it's not a big jump. I mean, he's seen all this stuff before. So when back in the day,
when you look at the pro defenses, though, these college quarterbacks haven't seen anything like that.
Oh yeah, right. But that's why they struggle.
Yeah,
they
you
still
got
want
11 good players in college. You might have had 2 or 3.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah, everybody is. Yeah, everybody's that good. I mean, everybody's the best player you played against.
Yeah,
but the point is, people want to see him play even if they struggle, and a lot of times they do, and they get. I mean, I look at this goes back a little bit too, but the Lions drafted a guy way back when named Joey Harrington.
Yeah.
Third pick over on the draft. Really celebrated guy out of college, like a cerebral trade quarterback. He came in and absolutely. They started him about 4 games into the first season. They ruined him.
Yeah.
They just shot his confidence. They had
He was no good. You're right. Yeah.
And that's it. Now that still Bryce Young's a good example too. Yeah. He's probably a pretty good quarterback, and they threw him into a fire with a really crappy team, and asked him to be a savior
head coach
and a crappy head coach, and they want him to be a savior. And when he didn't do that, they have problems. Now you look at C.J. Stroud, came into a good coach, pretty good team, and he thrived. Jaden Daniels the same way this year. That's not a terrible team they had. Jaden Daniels. In Washington. They're not awful. I mean, they're not bad. So, and they're not Chicago bad. So, I don't know. It's just a different era. The expectations are different. These guys get crazy hype and crazy money and endorsements, and they get all that kind of stuff.
I know it's early in the season, but Washington leading their division,
Right, exactly. Yeah. And he's a big part of the reason why. I mean, so, no, he's been great. It's just whether we can keep this up, because people will figure him out sooner or later.
Yeah.
And then they'll have to make some more adjustments. But
right.
I don't know. I don't see an era ever again where they draft a guy first or second pick and he sits for 2 years.
Yeah.
That just ain't gonna happen.
People saying Jaden Daniels is doing so good. He could win MVP if he keeps this pace on he's going right now.
If the season was over today, who else would it be? Sam Darnold?
Yeah.
He's about the only other guy that would get any kind of consideration.
And he would win.
Who has another guy that was the first picked overall and just never panned out. It took him 6 years to find himself.
A lot of quarterbacks are doing that. Look at Baker Mayfield in the Tampa.
Yeah, well, there's a saying though. It's not when you get drafted; it's where you go.
Yeah, right.
Would Tom Brady have been the same quarterback if he got drafted by the Lions? Probably not.
Right.
So, these guys go into bad situations and they just get worse.
All right. So, are you guys going to take the Browns or Eagles here in this game?
Eagles.
Take the Eagles because the Browns are
terrible.
I thought
they may not win another game. So.
Next, we have the Cardinals and the Packers. The Packers are at home here. Cardinals coming off an impressive win last week over the Niners.
Yeah,
I think
doesn't matter.
I'm going to go. Really? I like Arizona in this game, actually.
Really? I take Green Bay at home.
Yeah. I think Green Bay's terrible against the big play, and that's all Arizona can do. So
I'm actually going to take the Cardinals. I'm going to take them too, mostly because Jordan Love, ever since coming back from injury, he has not looked good. It's hard to not take the Packers at home, but I'm going to take the Cardinals here.
All right. Okay.
Next, we have the Buccaneers at the Saints. The Saints are now a 2-3 team.
Yeah.
Spencer Elliott, quarterback.
Tampa Bay for me too. Yeah.
And they're coming off a tough loss on the Thursday night against Kirk Cousins, over 500 yards.
Right.
What was it? Was it 5 touchdowns?
Overtime, wasn't it?
In overtime, crazy, good game.
Right.
So, I'm taking the Buccaneers. You guys taking the Buccaneers?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, for sure.
Next, we have the Colts at the Titans.
I'm taking the Colts. I know that it's at Tennessee, but I still like the Colts better.
That's a battle of a bunch of crap teams.
Yeah, I know. Right?
I'll go Tennessee at home. I think Will Levis will figure it out sooner or later.
He's a terrible quarterback, Levis.
He is not good. I know he has not looked good. I admit, but maybe this is the week.
I'll take the Colts. Next, we have the Chargers at the Broncos. The Broncos are a 3-2 team somehow.
I know.
Yeah, well, good for them.
But the Chargers, they're hurt too. I'm taking Denver at home.
Wow.
Bo Nix has not been terrible, so
I'm gonna take the Chargers.
I'm gonna stick with San Diego too. I think, although it kills me to pick any Jim Harbaugh led team, but it's all right.
Grandpa, who'd you pick again? Did you pick the?
You took Denver.
I took Denver. Denver at home.
All right. Next, we have the Lions at the Cowboys. Lions 3-1. The Lions always struggle at Dallas.
Doesn't matter. Get even time. Lions roll over on this one.
I think that'd be it. I think it's an easy win for them.
I do too. Lions were waiting for this game. They got it marked on their calendar.
They have the bye week. They got their offense.
They don't have anyone that could stop Aiden Hutchinson. So
yeah,
this could be a field day for Dak Prescott. Better put on his track shoes because he's going to be running most of the game.
And they have no run game. You have Ezekiel
Elliott as your
leading rusher.
Right.
So
good luck, Dallas.
Yeah,
the Lions win that game.
I do too.
They had a bye week. The Lions' offense is figured out. I don't think the Cowboys can.
They're getting healthier.
Oh yeah.
I hope they throw a touchdown pass to a lineman too, just to rub it in.
Yeah. That'd be fun. Next, we have the Falcons at the Panthers. Give me the Falcons.
Yeah, me too.
Without any points, this is going to be. I'm going to get the Panthers every week. Yeah.
I'm honestly shocked. There's 0 winless teams left in the NFL right now.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
Just like unprecedented.
Goes to show you, even a blind squirrel gets a nut every once in a while.
I guess so. Next, we have the 1-4. This is funny to say. We have the 1-4 Cincinnati Bengals at the 2-3 New York Giants. Give me the Bengals.
Yeah, me too. Bengals for me.
The Bengals have to win. They just have to.
That defense is really bad, though. I have to take the Bengals. I think they can outscore the Giants.
They couldn't do it last week against the Ravens. That was a classic. If you guys watched that game last week.
Yeah, they were terrible. They're not a very good team.
Right. I agree. Yeah.
And then that was Sunday night. That's gonna be a bad Sunday night game. I don't know.
Yeah, I know it.
And then Monday we have Bills against the headless head coach Jets.
Yeah, I'm taking Buffalo easy in this one. In fact, this is my best bet of the week.
I'm taking Bills as well.
Yep.
And that's all I have. Would you guys have anything else to say? Any sports news that I missed? Anything you'd like to say before we end today's episode?
Yeah, I do. Go Tigers on Saturday.
Absolutely.
We're recording this episode right after they lost to the Guardians. The series is 2-2.
That's a tough loss, so they'll bounce back. We got a Cy Young Award pitcher going after him. Let's go get him.
Yeah, got to give Cleveland credit. They deserve to win that game.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
they really did. Yeah. So good for them. And they still barely won it. So I like.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It looks like they're going to play the Yankees after that. So we'll have to see.
Anything else?
Is that game still going on? Must be.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it still is.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening.
All right.
We'll see you guys in the next week's episode. Thanks for listening.
Okay. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.